Oh, Pope Mary famous and Galway be grand, and the praise of Tramore.
These are the things that occur to you when you read a book of such endeavour and such history with such detail involved as well. Our next speaker will launch the book first. I'm not sure what title to give him because he's Dr. Bryan McMahon, Professor Bryan McMahon, and Judge Bryan McMahon, but generally around here, even though he's gone past the 70 mark, he's known as young Bryan, maybe. But knowing the same man, he'd be very insulted if you called him Judge Bryan or anything else. Around here, he's just plain Bryan, but far from plain, and far from just anything. He's a noted jurist, a great judge, a very good lecturer, and he lectured me for a while.
I just wonder, first of all, how many Listowel people it takes to launch a book. And, I might say at the table, distinguished people. We have an MEP, we have Mrs. Cable. The last time I saw her, she shared a podium with Thomas Keane, the Nobel Prize winner. We have Gabriel Fitzmaurice, the Bard of Newtown-Sens, if I'm not shot. We have our MC, whom I'll say nothing about because he can get at me later on. You never say anything bad about a person when you're handing over the microphone. I have nothing bad to say about him anyway. Thanks, Billy, for the introduction. And our distinguished author here tonight. First of all, let me talk about the book. No one else seems to be talking about it. It's a wonderful production, Vincent, and it's up to the standard of his first book. And when you look at it and take it in your hand, as I was trained to do as a young boy going to school, and look at it, just look at it, and smell it, and feel it, it's a high-class production. You won't get higher class than that. And it's a tribute not only to Vincent, his insistence on high standards, but also to the printers and the designers and all who are involved in it. So I think that's vitally important to say at the outset. There are some, it's organized in 5 chapters, and some of the chapters are more relevant to me than to others, but others will have a more interest in some of the posters relating to agricultural and rural matters. The chapter I was drawn to, and I only got this afternoon, so I haven't had any definitive pronouncements on it, but it's excellent, and what parts of it I have are very informative. Ballads is one chapter, chapter 2, and they are hung around the ballads that my father and others probably wrote, and which Bob printed up on the penny ballad sheets and distributed to the travelling singers, mostly travelling community. And many of them have been mentioned here. Listowel, the River Field, the Fields of Newtown-Sens, another one if I remember, Steve Casey's his name. But there was one ballad that was mentioned, DJ Allman. This was about an ambush in Limerick, or in Killarney, near Killarney, in the back of the troubled times. And I remember in the 60s, when I was in Cork as an academic, there was a party on in the President's house for something, and it broke into song later on in the evening, and I stood up and sung DJ Allman. And from the back of the room, an elderly gentleman called Connie Neenan called me down, and he said, "I was there. I remember that." And he began to tell me about the action and the shooting and all sorts of things. Next day in the post, I got a corpèche, what I would say in law was near enough to an affidavit, where he set out in about 3 pages his account of the ambush. And it shows you how deep the ballad is. And the ballad, to some extent, in those days was like the newspapers. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have all of those things. But the ballad was used, certainly in the 19th century, as a kind of a communication method for historians and for people involved in public life. Press. The other interesting little anecdote is that the ballads were done on coloured sheets. And the reason for this was that the travellers were illiterate. And when someone asked them for the Valley of Knockanur, they know they went for the blue one. Or if it was Newtown Sands, they went for the green one. So the colour code was to help the travelling singers to identify the request.
I'm sure everybody knows it here. I'll sing 5 verses, I won't sing them all. And Vincent very rightly points out that the politically correct brigade will be incensed by the way Bryan wrote the 5th verse, because it had to be changed for politically sensitive people. But I'm going to sing the way it was originally written, with no animosity or no prejudice or no racism or anything, only that's the way things were at the time. We distort history to our detriment. Oh, Pope Mary famous and Galway be grand, and the praise of Tramore go down through the land. But I'll sing you a ballad and beauty extol, as I found it long ago in the town of Listowel. I've been to Bundorn, I rambled to Bray, I footed to Bantry with its beautiful bay, but I battered their charms, I would upon my soul, for the week of the races in lovely Listowel. There were bookies and bagmen and bankers and all. Billy Mulligan was there with a green-coloured shawl, and a cute little boy pitching pence in a bowl took me down for a crown in the town of Listowel. They came from Castle Island, they came from Tralee, and a black-looking devil, he came from Fiji, with a Dutchman, a German, a chink in a pole, but 'tis more like Geneva than Dublin Listowel. My rhyming is over, God bless those who heard, for I'll take to the roads and go off like a bird, and before I depart, but you all must pay toll, so 3 cheers for the races and lovely Listowel. Thank you very much. All those ballads are in the ballad section in the Ballad King, attributed to Bob Culbertson and Bryan McMahon. Okay, Billy Keane, here we go.
All of these strange plays that we all saw up either in the Slough Hall or in the plaza sometimes, and it was wonderful education. It's an advertisement, a poster for a stallion. A stallion, this is a big poster for the Prince of Ossory, by Crown Prince, out of ostentation. At O'Connor's Yard each Friday in April is a handsome black sire standing on his best legs. His gets are known and admired at all southern fairs and shows. Missiles will be served free next session if the sire still remains the property of the present owner. There's a promise for you now. In any event, it was something that tickled the fancy of the townies, because we knew very little things about these things. We had to wait for the Late Late Show to tell us about it. That's why these country boys were so far ahead of us. I'm not going to delay anymore. I think I've said enough to give you a sense of what this book is about. It's about Listowel, it's about North Kerry, it's about Ireland in the time it was written. And it's a key into our history, our local history.
Bryan McMahon told a story about sex. And I said, our first, the boys in the Upper William Street, our first introduction to sex was above at the back of Sheehan's bar, and they had a stud there every Friday evening, and those of us in the street, we'd run up to the back and we'd have to run in behind the common cars that were all at the side of the creamy shed, and the Quake Nolan would be below. He was the groom, and he'd have the mare's legs tied, and he'd be there to help out the stallion. And we'd be there, we were mystified by this carry-on. And the groom there was, as I said, the Quake Nolan. And the next thing, the Quake would see us, and there's a case of, Guerin, I tell your father, I tell your mother. And we were gone up the street and into the back of my pies. So anyway, that's Shinny and Scale. And listen, thank you all. You've been a great audience. Thanks very much.
There's 11 verses in the Valley Knock. I won't sing the 11 verses. I'll sing the thread of the story, 4 or 5 verses. Now, if you want to sing along with me, there are better singers in the audience than I am. So, please join in. You may sing and speak about Easter week and the heroes of '98, of the Fenian men who roamed the land in victory or defeat. Their names are placed on history's page, their memory will endure. Not a song is sung for our darling sons in the valley of Knocknaure. We skip a bit now. There was Lyons and Welsh and Dalton boys, they were young and in their pride. In every house, in every town, they were always side by side. The republic bold they did uphold, the outlawed on the moor, and side by side should they bravely died in the valley of Knock. Oh, Pope may be famous and Galway be grand, and the praise of Tramore go down through the land. But I'll sing you a ballad and beauty extol, as I found it long ago in the town of Listowel. I've been to Bundoran, I rambled to Bray, I footed to Bantry with its beautiful bay, but I battered their charms, I would upon my soul, for the week of the races in lovely Listowel. There were bookies and bagmen and bankers and all. Billy Mulligan was there with a green-coloured shawl, and a cute little boy pitching pence in a bowl took me down for a crown in the town of Listowel. They came from Castle Island, they came from Tralee, and a black-looking devil, he came from Fiji, with a Dutchman, a German, a chink and a